Hi everyone, if you have seen our top 5 software video, you must be aware that Microsoft Excel holds first position and the reasons were well stated there. Today we will learn about VBA. It stands for Visual Basic Applications and it is a programming language for Excel, famously called as macros, but there's a huge difference between VBA and macros. So VBA is a programming language while macros is a set of commands of a programming code that can be repeated multiple times. So I would like to conclude by saying that VBA is a programming language to create macros. Now you must be thinking that Excel does 90% of the tasks. So why to learn macros? First of all, it will save a big chunk of your time when it comes to doing repetitive tasks. So all you need to do is just create a set of commands and those commands will do the work on your behalf. When it comes to repetitive tasks, it might require some human involvement. So human involvement means human errors. It will definitely reduce human errors as well as it will improve your efficiency because you will be devoting less amount of time for doing those repetitive tasks. I must say that learning macros will definitely make you stand out among your peers, and this tutorial is going to be very basic. We will learn about the environment, some basic terms like subroutines, functions, referencing. So let's start. Today we will be covering these topics: recording a macro, then we will cover absolute versus relative referencing, then subroutines and functions, and then we will create a subroutine and a function. So if your Excel doesn't show this developer box, you can get it through this file menu. Go to options and in the customize ribbon select this developer box. So when you select this and click OK, the ribbon will automatically have this developer tab. Under developer tab, there is Visual Basic. You can click it and directly go to the Visual Basic editor. Here you can code. If you wish to go back to your spreadsheet, you can click on this icon. To record a macro, click on this. Name the macro as recording. Shortcut key would be Shift A. Okay. Now I wish to make this cell D3 bold. I will change the font size and background also, and I'll stop recording. And when you do that, just reset it to see if that recorded macro works. Let's run that. See, same steps have been done to cell D3. Now if you wish to do it to some other cell, you can use shortcut key, which was Control Shift A. And this is how you record a macro. Let us know the difference between two types of referencing, which is absolute and relative. Whenever you will record a macro, it will always be in absolute mode. You can change it to relative mode using this relative references. Let's start using absolute references first so that we can know the difference. Later on, we will compare also what is the difference between these two types of techniques. Let's start. Record macro, then absolute, shortcut key Shift A. Okay. Now we will make D3 bold, change the background, and we will delete this row. Delete. And when you stop recording it, just reset it once. Now run that macro again, which you have just created. Done. So when you do that, you can observe that when you record a macro with absolute references, it will place the recorded steps exactly in the cells where it was recorded, irrespective of the active cell. But this is not the case in relative referencing. It will use active cell as the reference and then it will make changes. Let's see what happens in relative referencing. So for that, select this record macro, relative and shift R. Okay, done. Now we will make some changes in cell D3. Background, change the color as green, and we will delete we will delete this row and this column. Okay, now stop recording and reset the after resetting the data set, place your cursor wherever you want to place it. Suppose I am placing it in E3. Now let's see what happens when we run relative referencing macro run. So as you can see that whatever the changes are made here, it is on the basis of active cell. Let us see how we got this output. So we can go to the Visual Basic editor and under subroutine relative, just notice this command active cell dot offset 1 comma 0. So offset is used to move or refer to a reference skipping a particular number of rows and columns. So here it will skip 1 comma 0, and similarly for the columns it will skip 0 comma 4, and that's how we got this. You might have noticed when we recorded absolute macro and relative reference macro, they were coded under subroutine. So what is a subroutine and the function we'll see now. Subroutines, they are executed by running from Excel from the developer tab, whereas functions, we call it by using their name. For example, sum. So sum is a function which is used to add up two numbers. Same way we can create our own functions to execute some task. Subroutines can be created by using a macro recorder or by typing in VBE as we did before. Functions returns values in place of their names, and subroutines may have 0 to several input arguments. Mostly subroutines have 0 arguments, whereas functions, they will have arguments, and both the syntax are given. Now we will create a subroutine where we will ask for a number from the user and output the double of that number in a message box. To create a subroutine, we will go to Visual Basic Editor and first of all insert a module. I've already done that. The name of the sub is double number because we will be doubling the number. The first thing to do is initialize all the variables. So x and y we are using, and we will dim them as double. Dim is basically a short form for dimensions. So x, we will ask the user whatever the number we will ask, we are naming it as x. So input box, enter a number. Input box command is basically used to ask a user for a number or for a particular information. Y is the double of that number, and we will message box the final answer. And when we run it, enter a number 12, and the double of 12 is 24. Now we will create a function to calculate area of a circle. Let us create a function area, and as you can recall that function will have arguments, so we are declaring d as double. So d will be the diameter of circle, and we can calculate area as pi d square by 4. So for pi we will use worksheet function dot pi. Whenever you will type, I'll show you how it comes. Just type worksheet function dot and then pi. Now multiplied by d square
by 4. And then go to your worksheet. So this is the diameter in centimeters. You can change it, and whenever you will call your function, it should be is equals to name of that function, area, and argument, which was diameter. So you can see that area of the circle is 346 centimeters square.
I hope you guys find it very useful. So this was just the foundation for much more complex things that we will do as we go on with the course. To stay updated for the upcoming videos, don't forget to follow our Instagram page. The link is in the description box below. And last but not the least, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.